because we attend this point that you have a good result, so we should see together how can we write and submit this paper. Okay, the question is, what is the paper? Before discussing how to write it, we should define what is a paper. Yes? What's a paper? We should know the definition of what's a paper, then we should see how to write a paper and when submit a paper. These are the main questions: how, what, and when. So what is a paper? Actually, a paper is defined as written report, okay? Or a manuscript representing an experimental work with novelty. This is the definition of paper. In PhD thesis, you are not allowed to publish a review. So here, authors and affiliation. What does it mean? Authors and affiliation. Authors? Exactly, laboratory of research, or department, or the university. Okay, so example, you have here, this is the title, this is the author, and here we have this for affiliation. This one to indicate affiliations. For you, as PhD students, always the first author is the PhD student. So the most important note that you should get in your minds that authors are everyone who worked and participated in this scientific work, PhD student, supervisor and co-supervisor, engineer, or any co-worker. But not one who tell you good luck, he is author, between brackets. So everyone who participated really in the writing or working this manuscript. Another good notice that the number of authors, the ones becomes bigger, the value of paper decrease according to our ministry. Because we have Excel files that we should enter the paper, the impact factor, the number of authors. The highest the number of authors, we get less point. You see here. For the same journal, current enzyme inhibition, which is category B. So we have here, if we have 4 authors, we get points, 30 points. If we have 5 authors, 24 points. 8 authors, 15 points. So the less number of authors, the highest value of paper. Yes? It will be accepted, but is it rational to one person working on this paper? For PhD student, it's impossible. Yeah, after, yes, yes. I have many papers just with one author. No problem in that, depending on your ability to realize this work by yourself. This is the only problem. But as PhD student, this is impossible. You will not, your document will not be accepted for PhD defense if you publish only with your name. Where is the supervisor and co-supervisor? If you have co-supervisor, absolutely. Okay? So, what's the affiliation of authors? Every lab you have worked in or got any material from. Department or faculty, research lab, pedagogic lab. So here for affiliations, let's see the abstract. So we have a limit of words when writing the abstract. We should not exceed 250 words. 251, it will be rejected. We should accept less than 250 is good, but up to 250, it will be rejected. So the abstract should contain 250 words. So what can we write in the abstract? We should use passive form, informative phrases, short informative phrases. We should pick highlights of the work, and we should cite only the important informations. This is the main keys of writing an abstract. Example, we have here abstract. The first line is about an introduction. The second, or the main body of the abstract, is methods and results. And the final one is conclusion and perspective. Introduction. What we should write in an introduction of a paper, basing on your keywords. So for example, we will write between 3 and 5 paragraphs, depending on the work. The work containing a hard part, so we can add until we can get 5 paragraphs. Less, 3 paragraphs. So what's inside the introduction? So for example, if we are working as the same field, amylase inhibition and natural extracts from medicinal plants, so here we should start talking about our plant. Is it endemic, not endemic, where it can be collected, what is the traditional use of this plant, is it used in our folk medicine or not, somehow like this. The second one is the treated disease. So for example, here we have amylase inhibition, diabetes, xanthine oxidase, gout, lipase, obesity, and however. And finally, the objective of this work. Absolutely, you should use AI tool for writing this introduction. So for example, here we have this paper. We have here antibacterial activities and Pegano harmala, the plant, which is known as harmal. We have this plant in Algeria, exactly. So here the introduction. Look, the first paragraph is about the plant and chemical composition. The second paragraph is about bacterial resistance. And the last one is about the objective of the study. Material and methods. So we have all the used material, chemical, animal, plant, anything used, and the methods also, you should cite all of them. Here examples. For example, here we have the plant material in the section of material and methods, and all the used determination of mineral elements, preparation of aqueous extracts, and however, all the used methods, results and discussion. So here in results and discussion, you should put your own results, compare your results with the previous works, and discuss the best between them and the worst. The question is, how can we discuss our results? What are the tips of discussing our results? So, for example, all of them, most of them are working on something that we need to use control, positive control. The first discussion is about comparing our results with the positive control. This is the first discussion. So we have a result, we have the control positive result, we should compare. Our result, is it best or worst than the positive control? The second tip of discussion, exactly, with other previous works. So here you should be smart. You cannot pick only the worst than you. You should pick the worst and the best than you. Only if you don't have anything best than your results, so your results is potent and original. But in discussion, you should put both of them, the worst and the best. Absolutely, you should pick 2 or 3 worst results and 1 best result. This is the tips of discussion. If you discuss badly your result, the paper will be rejected. So this part is the main part of the manuscript. Discuss it well, you will guarantee the publication of your manuscript. Discuss it badly, you will guarantee the rejection of your paper. It depends on you, okay? So, what's the most used words when writing your manuscript? And what's the most used form? So we use passive form. We have extracted, or the plant is extracted using solvents, for example. So we have investigated, achieved, be used, considered, studied, recorded, elucidated, collected, identified, isolated, performed, deposited, expressed, reduced, consists of, allows, discussed, shown stronger, have been adopted. if you read all the papers, you will find this most used words and as passive verb, the same words. If you read many papers, you will get always the same verbs. How many times you see investigated, achieved? How many times you see allows, discussed, consists of? So these are the main words used to discuss or to write your manuscript. Conclusion, what we should write in the conclusion? Our potent results. Okay, not all of the results, but the best of them. So we should write important obtained results, its advantage to science. And finally, propose your perspective. For example, for amylase, we have found that we isolated the molecule, and this molecule presented the high inhibition against amylase. So this high inhibition, we can propose it as drug candidate. This is its advantage to science, as drug candidate. And then propose your perspective. You should test this molecule with clinical assays to improve using it as drug for diabetes. Here, how to present a conclusion. Actually, we have two kinds of papers. Some papers didn't ask to write conclusion. Some journals didn't request writing conclusion. But some journals insist on writing conclusion. So a good conclusion, it's the green light for your paper to be accepted. A bad conclusion is absolutely the opposite. Acknowledgement, what's acknowledgement? It's a word, a sentence written to thank all who helped you to realize this work. So we have different types, organization or persons. It depends on your work. References, how to cite. Look, now we have different bibliographic styles, and we should respect it. Please, could you give me any ideas to write the references? What we should use to write references? We should use softwares. Yes, good. Before using softwares, what we should know? How can we? Exactly. We should pick a style. So before it, we should know what's the existing bibliographic styles. Then we can pick one style to write our references. So how to cite, we will see how to cite. These are bibliography styles. So we have American Psychological Association, which is APA, abbreviated, Chicago Manual of Style, Chicago, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, I3E, Modern Language Association, MLI, Vancouver, Law, other bibliography styles. We have American Chemical Association, American Medical Association, Harvard Referencing System, and National Library of Medicine. For your manuscript, you should pick which one of these styles you will use. And basing on that, you will pick which software or which online AI generator you will use. So we have these styles. For example, the first one, AMA, American Medical Association. In the manuscript, we have two styles. We have numerical, we have author and date, okay? Author and year. So for AMA, we have to use numerical citations. One, and this is the reference. For APA, we should use authors, year, and this is the citations. For Chicago, we should use author, EOL, and year with these citations. So the question is, can we use numerical with this one? No. So we should respect. If we picked EMA, we should use numerical with this one. If we picked Chicago, we should use this one with this one. Now, what's the advantage of numerical? What's the advantage of author? And what's absolutely the disadvantage of each of one? Think, then answer. So imagine that you are writing your thesis or your paper, and you are thinking to choose one of them.
You see, we are limited with words.
Yes.
When you use the American Psychological Association, is it counted the reference
are apart. Yes, we are limited with words. We will see papers are between 8,000 words or 10,000. Okay? Which style you will use? Numerical or author and year? Think. All of you will write a paper. Huh? So all of you, I need the answer. Author and year. Why? What's the advantage of this technique? So if you pick one, you should tell me what's the advantage. Okay? What's the advantage of this technique?
The first one.
Which one? Numerical?
Numerical, yeah.
Yes, numerical. What's the advantage?
You will be organized automatically. You will not be distracted by the name of the author. You don't have to organize them
Yes.
in the manuscript.
If we use author and year, what's the advantage? Look, everything is not perfect. Everything we have advantage, disadvantage. So let's see the first one. For numerical, it's advantage that if you have a paragraph with many references, we will write from 1 to 10, and this little small space. If we pick authors, it's 2 lines of authors. Exactly. So we cannot read the paragraph because we have references between brackets. The disadvantage of this method, that if you are writing a thesis, so this method is for papers, because are short. We have 10 or 30 pages maximum for writing a manuscript. But for PhD thesis with 100 pages, if we use a number and your supervisor asked you to add a reference in the introduction and you attend 200 references, you should start from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, because it's impossible in the introduction to see another number than 1, 2, 3, 4 until 10. If he asked you to add reference number 202, you cannot add in the introduction 202. So you should reorder. This is the disadvantage. The advantage of author and year, that we don't have this problem. You can add any reference at any time in any section of the thesis. But the disadvantage of authors are the high place that it took inside the manuscript, inside the paragraph or the text. So each method has advantage and disadvantage. Personally, I use numerical writing manuscripts, authors writing PhD thesis. Another point also that it depends on the journal actually. When we selected the journal, we should read the guide for authors, then we can detect which style is requested for this journal. So these are other styles: National Library of Medicine, Nature Journal, Vancouver, and however. Now, how can we cite? Okay, so we have seen the styles. We decide to pick one. How can we cite? Manually. Before they did it manually. Really manually. They wrote each author, comma, full stop, then comma, manually. Now, using technology is easier. So I will propose you some techniques, and then it's up to you to choose which one is suitable for your writing. So let's see the first one. We can use Google Scholar, and we can copy and paste the title of the manuscript, and then we can click here on Cite. Exactly. We have these styles. We have APA, ESO, and MLA. Which one is suited? You can download, if you have EndNote, installed EndNote software, you can directly download it from here. If you have LaTeX, you can download it here, and these are other softwares. We have second method using Word file, only Word file. So the advantage of Google is quick, copy and paste, that's it, few seconds. The disadvantage of Word, it takes time because you will write it manually. Look, if we click here, so here we have the style, bibliography, and we can insert citation. Here we have to pick the type of the source, title, year, edition, all of them we should write them manually, copy and paste. Finally, we can add a bibliographic list. This is inside Word file. We have another proposition, which is softwares, and absolutely you have done some practical works using Zotero or EndNote or Mendeley. These are softwares, and these are online AI generators. So we will see MyBib, which is the easiest one. And for this, what's the disadvantage of these softwares? Absolutely, the advantage is the list. What's the disadvantage? Exactly. That you have to mention, you have to create your own database. This is the worst point using softwares. You should create your own databases to be able for consulting each citation. Before also, for software, we can find the problem of duplication. What does it mean? We can see the same number, but with two different references. So we should be careful when using online softwares. Okay? This is the second disadvantage. That we can find the problem of duplicate. What does it mean? False duplicate. Number 33, but two different references. This is not rational. So we should every day, every time before printing your thesis, you should confirm that everything is okay in the references part. For online generators, we don't have this problem. We don't need to create a database, and we can use it easily. So let's see the video here. We have different styles. MyBib, you should create an account, and it's for free. And you can save your project, and you don't need to create a database. This is the advantage of AI tool. So here you have to add citation. Look, using AI tool generator, we have different sources. We have website, book, journal, video, and more. We have different bibliographic sources that we can use. So we can use here, for example, this. Look at this. I made the video. We cannot copy and paste this link. We should copy and paste DOE number. This is important note. Okay, you cannot copy the URL address. No, we should copy the DOE number. So here we can click. We hit next, next, next. Yes, is there a question? Different style. Yeah, we can choose here the style. Thanks. So here we have different styles we can use. Here I just picked anyone to illustrate the video. So here is the citation. You see? Directly with numbers. Easy, few seconds, and you get your... Exactly, easy and fast. This one is helpful writing a manuscript. So after finishing, what do you need? You need to copy and paste your project or to save it in Word file format. This is AI tool. So we repeat here. This I repeated the video to mark some points. DOE number, this one. Exactly. We cannot copy the title. We cannot copy this one. We should copy the DOE address. MyBib will. MyBib, this is MyBib. We have different AI generators. As you see in the figure, we have different. If you use another one, there is another thing to copy, okay? I'm here just illustrating MyBib, how it works. And then you can copy and paste all your bibliography. Few seconds. All what you need, few seconds.
Can't use it to file inside the paper?
Yes, we can.
We can?
Manually, inside the paper, you can say one, but you have already your project of bibliography working at the same time. So, the question is, how much time we need to finish our manuscript? How much time we need for writing a paper? At your opinion. You have now, at this stage, you have your results. You have your experimental work finished. Okay. It will take short time, exactly. If you use the manual method, you will take a long of time. Okay, so let's see what we have here. First of all, we need to write the paper. It will take between 1 month to 3 months, depending on how to use AI tools. So you can write it in just 1 week. If you focus just on it, you can write it in 3 months. You can take 1 year. It depends on you, actually. So the next step, what is it? After writing the paper, what is it? Choice of journal and submission. Okay, this step, maximum 1 month. Okay, maximum 1 month. Why? Using AI tools, we can find the suitable journal for our manuscript, and we will see how. After choice and submission, and the review, this stage you cannot do anything, only waiting, just waiting. It depends on the journal policy. If it's open access, then it will take 1 month. You will get your answer. If it is if it's hybrid or subscription, you will get from 3 months to 6 months under review. Accepted and published online paper, it will take, after the revision, it will take from 3 to 6 months, depending on the journal policy, okay? As you see here, the growing child, okay, mentioning the time that we need when we are writing a manuscript. Okay, so it takes, from 1 year to 2 years for publishing a paper. So writing a paper takes 3 months to 1 year, depending on what you use, on your results, on the field of research. Which part shall we start? Which part takes time? This is the question. So we have this part. Which one takes time? Exactly. So the part that takes time and takes hard working is results and discussion. It needs really time to finish it, because it's basing, here we should pick the recent researchers. We are writing 2023, so we should use 2023. 2022, 2021, really we are not recent papers, okay? So now how can we choose a journal? So I advise you this golden notice. When you are writing the references, you should create the journals of them in separate file. Why should we do this step? In separate file, you are writing the different references, bibliography. You should write the journals absolutely with hypertext links in separate file. Why? To help us choose the journal that we will submit. Absolutely, we use the journals that publish the same thing that we are writing. So writing them in separate file, we gain time to submit our manuscript. This helped us to in the choice of journal. So to choose a journal, we should know before something called journal categories. So we have 2 ranking of journal categories. We have Algerian ranking and we have international ranking. Let's see Algerian ranking. So for Algerian ranking, according to DGRSDT, we have special, which are papers published in nature.com and Science with a high impact factor up to 30. We have A+ papers, Thomson Reuters top 10% with IF, between 7 to 30. And we have category A, we have Scopus, category B, and we have C, no impact factor, and others. So my advice, because you worked hardly at the lab, you took much time in writing manuscripts, you should publish in A. One paper A, 50 points. There is no need to publish B, C, or others. International ranking. International ranking, according to USA, is about what we call quartiles. So we have 2 ranking of quartiles. We have Scopus quartiles, we have Clarivate quartiles, which mean Web of Science. So let's see what's quartiles: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. How can we determine if this journal is ranked Q1, 2, 3, or 4? We have something to calculate. So here, for example, food chemistry, hybrid journal, open access and subscription. Look here, the impact factor of this journal is 9.23, ranking it 8 out of 143 in food science and technology. So this number 143, according to 100%, 8 is X. So the calculation will be 5.6%. This means less than 25%, so it's Q1. What does it mean? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, the sum of them is 100%. So Q1 is 25%, Q2, 50%, Q3, 75%, and Q4, 100%. So we should focus when publishing on Q1 or Q2, 25% or 50%. The important mark that Q1 of Scopus is not obligatory Q1 for Web of Science, because they have different criteria of ranking. So a paper is accepted for PhD defense is only when the published paper is ranked in Scopus, indexed in Scopus, and free, not paid. If it's published in category B. But if it's published in category A and it's not free, open access, no problem. Okay? Yes, Shimago. We can use also Shimago. I mentioned it. So, how can we know the impact factor? Or what does it mean, impact factor for a journal? So, for example, here we have cities in 2008 to items published in 2007. Here we have 840, 2006, 1,030, So we have this sum. Also, number of items published in the 2 years. And we have this sum. So the impact factor is calculated according to a report between cities to recent items, this number, divided on number of recent items, this number. So the value that we found is the impact factor of the journal. For this, the editor-in-chief is concentrated on keeping this impact factor, because this impact factor is variable. It can be up, it can be down, exactly. So how can he manage this impact factor at your opinion, basing on the calculation rule? Can he involve in the citations? No, the editor-in-chief. He cannot influence the citations. So how can he manage? Look, the less this number, the highest this number, the highest the impact factor. So the editor-in-chief, what he will do? He will reject maximum of papers. And he will pick the highest original papers. Why? To keep good impact factor. Because the less of number of recent items compared to citations, the highest the impact factor. And this calculation is variable each 2 years. So to managing high impact factor, he should accept less papers. What does it mean? But to publish is really hard. So your work enters international competition. Those from China, from Malaysia, from South Korea, from Japan, from other countries. Your work is in competition with these works. So if the editor-in-chief gets 100 papers, he will accept the best 20 papers. Your paper to be accepted, it should be in the 20 best papers. And something it's not easy to do. This is the only condition to get your paper published. In category A, for B, there is no this problem. You can publish, but because they are not interested in impact factor. They don't have impact factor. You see the difference? This means that publishing in high impact factor means that your work is high quality. And the opposite is true. Publishing in B, this means also that your work is, unfortunately, bad scientific quality. Okay. How can we know the journal category? We have different tips to check. For example, here we have impact factor, we have cities, Shimago journal rank, all of this. We should search about something Scopus, or here, for example, Scopus, index it in Scopus, and Clarivate or scientific citations. So, for example, this journal is with the impact factor 5.3. This is the aims and scope of the journal. We should read it to decide if we can submit our paper or not. And this is, look here, time to first decision. What does it mean? Time to first decision, review time, and publication time, acceptance rate. Try to explain me this one. Okay? Time to first decision. I submitted my paper today. It will take 3 weeks, about 22 to 25 days, to get the first answer. It will be reviewed, passed under review or not. It needs up to 3 weeks. This, exactly. This is just the decision of the editor-in-chief. The second thing, review time. And this is an average, by the way. This is just an average. It could take more. So this is just an average. 3 weeks, it can take up to 2 months just to get the first decision of the editor-in-chief. The second one, 6 weeks. 6 weeks review time, 2 months just under review. And sometimes we need another review. If we get major revision, we should correct many things in our manuscript. All of this under revision. And publication time. Once it is accepted, it will take at least 2 weeks to be published. This is an average. Look, 0.8 weeks, this is an average. It will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the line, the timeline that we have for this journal. Finally, the acceptance rate. What does it mean, acceptance rate? 28%. This means, yes? Yes, what does it mean? That the editor-in-chief, if he gets 100 papers, he will accept 28 papers. So your paper should present a high quality and should enter in competition with the 28 international high quality papers. Really so hard. The acceptance rate is a good point to check if your manuscript can enter to this competition or can't. If it can't, it's best to choose another journal. Okay, so here we should search abstracting and indexing to find this one. Science Citation Index expanded. This means Web of Science, or actually known as Clarivate. And the second one is Scopus. Okay, so this is the website of DGSDT to search if a journal is in category A or B or any other thing. So we should here see the latest published category of journals, 2021. We have until now 2021 in this website. Here we have the name of national scientific journals, category A, category B, and we have what we call bad editors or bad journals. We can hit any of these buttons, then download it. So this is the list. We can hit here, then hit here, and then we can download the list. What we should do, we should copy and paste the name of the journal inside the PDF file, search. If we find it, then it's good, it's category A. If we don't find it, so we should search in B. If we don't find it in B, we should search here. If we don't find it, then we cannot publish. We cannot take the risk. So just put in mind that in PDF, you should write the exact name of the journal. If you don't write it well, you don't get a result. So you should copy and paste the name of the journal.